Hello, everyone. I want to tell you a story from a few years ago. This is a very beautiful and romantic story, a love story. My name is Rosie. I am a home nurse. I was taking care of a beautiful middle-aged woman named Camilla. She had big, black eyes with long black eyelashes. Her skin is clear and very smooth. She lived in a big house near a beautiful lake. Camilla had a car accident. She was in a coma for many months. When she woke up, she had lost her memory. She did not remember her past. She'd forgotten many things. Camilla did not remember her husband, or even her children. Her son and daughter were studying at university in a city far away. When her son and daughter came to visit, she looked at them like they were strange. She did not know them at all. Daniel, her husband, lived in the same house. He took care of her every day. But Camilla did not know he was her husband. She thought he was just the gardener. Daniel never stopped loving her. Every day, he went to the garden and picked flowers for her. Camilla smiled and said, "Thank you, sir. You are very kind." Daniel's heart broke every time. She didn't know he was the man she loved for many years, but he didn't give up. When he went to work, he told me to not forget Camilla. He said, "Please take good care of her." Every morning, I woke up and looked out the window. I saw the beautiful garden full of flowers. Then I went to the kitchen and made breakfast. I went to Camilla's room and smiled. I said, "Good morning," and helped her eat her breakfast. I joked with her and said, "Good job, pretty girl. You ate well today." She laughed like a happy little girl. At that time, I was 20 and she was almost 50. But sometimes she looked at me like a little girl who looking at her mother. After breakfast, I gave her medicine. I changed her clothes. Then we went for a walk in the garden. I sang for her, and she sang with me. We sat on the bench near the pool and fed the ducks. Then I asked, "Do you know what time it is now?" She answered, "It's story time." I laughed and said, "Good job, pretty lady." Then I opened the notebook. It was actually a diary. Camilla's husband, Daniel, gave it to me. He asked me to read it to Camilla every day. He hoped it would help her. He wanted her to remember the past. Daniel worked at a shipyard. He went to work every morning. In the afternoons, he came back home. He took Camilla out in the car. Every day, he took her to the place where they kissed for the first time. It was the place where they fell in love. He bought the snacks she liked. Every day, he hoped she would remember everything. He hoped she would kiss him. He hoped she would say, "Oh, Daniel, where were you all this time?" But sadly, she didn't remember. Sometimes she said, "Thank you, Daddy." Sometimes she said, "Thank you, sir." But Daniel still had hope. He did the same things every day, waiting for that beautiful moment. For me, seeing this much love was amazing. Daniel tried everything to help Camilla remember. He wrote their love story in the diary. He gave it to me and said, "Read it to her every day, so maybe she would remember." The story in the diary began like this. One summer, a rich and beautiful girl named Camilla went to a beach town with her parents. They were there for vacation. One day, they went boating. A young, handsome boy named Daniel was their boat driver. He was full of energy. He played fun music, sang, and danced. He made everyone laugh. He was charming, and all the girls liked him. That day, Camilla liked Daniel's warm smile and talent, but she forgot about him quickly. Daniel, however, fell in love with Camilla at first sight. He followed her and found out where she stayed. He came near her again and again, using many excuses. He asked her to be his friend. Finally, Camilla started to like him too. They spent the summer together. Camilla's parents didn't like her being with a poor boy like Daniel, but they thought it was only a summer romance. They believed Camilla would forget him after the vacation. I kept reading the diary to Camilla every day. Sometimes she smiled. Sometimes she'd start thinking and look at me carefully. Sometimes she just listened quietly. I stopped for a moment. I waited. I wanted her to think more. Maybe she could remember something. I talked to her. I asked her some questions. I said, "What do you think? Do you think this love will continue? Do you think Camilla and Daniel will be together?" She tried to think. She looked at me. She said, "Please continue. I want to hear the rest of the story." So I read more of the story. Camilla and Daniel spent the whole summer together. They went to the beach with their friends. They had fun, laughed a lot, and made many memories. Every day they were happy to be with each other. But the summer was ending. Camilla and her family had to go back to their city. The day of goodbye was very hard. Camilla and Daniel sat near the lake, holding hands. They didn't talk much. They just looked at each other with sad eyes. They both knew this goodbye would hurt. Camilla had tears in her eyes. She said, "I will miss you so much, Daniel." Daniel looked down and said, "I wish summer never ended." Camilla wrote her home address on the back of a beautiful postcard. She showed the postcard to Daniel. She said, "I love this postcard. I always wanted to live in a house like this, with a view of the lake. And now, I want to live in this house with you." Then she gave it to Daniel and said, "Please write to me. I will wait for your letters." Daniel nodded. He promised to write every week. They hugged tightly, not wanting to let go, but the car was waiting. Camilla walked away slowly, looking back at him with eyes full of tears. Daniel stood still, watching her with a heart full of pain until the car drove away. That night, he sat in his room with the postcard in his hand. He read the address again and again. He fell asleep with the postcard in her hands. I closed the notebook and looked at Camilla. Her eyes were sad, as if she was remembering a painful memory. She was also feeling sleepy. It was time for her to take her medicine. I took her to her room. I gave her the medicine. I sang a soft song for her. Slowly, she closed her eyes. She looked like a beautiful and innocent angel. The next day, and the days after that, we sat near the pool. I read the beautiful story that Daniel had written for her. Sometimes, I told her, isn't it interesting that her name is also Camilla, just like you? She smiled and said, I really like that. I said with a smile, so let's continue. Daniel wrote letters again and again. Every week, he sent a new letter to Camilla. But no answer came. He waited by the mailbox every day. He hoped to see a letter from her, but the mailbox was always empty. Daniel was very sad. He asked himself, did Camilla forget about me? He remembered her smile, her voice, her promise. But now, there was only silence. Many months passed. Daniel kept thinking about her. He knew that Camilla's mother did not like him. She thought Daniel was not good enough for her daughter. Maybe she told Camilla to forget him. Daniel didn't give up. He worked hard every day. He saved his money. He also took a loan from the bank. Then, one day, he bought a big old house. It was near the lake, far from the city. The house was broken and needed a lot of work. But Daniel didn't mind. He remembered something important Camilla had told him. I love this postcard. This is my dream house. Now Daniel had found a house just like that picture. He started fixing it with his own hands. He painted the walls, fixed the windows, and planted flowers in the garden. He worked day and night. He hoped that one day Camilla would come, and when she saw the house, she would remember their love. Camilla waited for Daniel's letters every day. She checked the mailbox with hope in her heart. But no letter ever came. At first, she thought maybe there was a delay. Then weeks passed. Then months. Still, nothing. Camilla felt very sad. She thought, maybe Daniel forgot me. Maybe he only wanted summer fun. Maybe now he is with another girl. She didn't know that Daniel had sent many letters. She didn't know that her mother had hidden them all. Her mother didn't like Daniel. She thought he was poor and not good enough for Camilla. She wanted her daughter to marry someone from a rich and respected family. There was a man named Tom. He was the son of a family friend. He was kind, handsome, and successful. Her parents liked him very much. Camilla didn't want to think about love again. But after 1 year, she gave up waiting. She was tired of being sad, so when Tom asked her to marry him, she said yes. Her parents were very happy. They started planning the wedding. Camilla liked Tom. He was a good man. Little by little, he won her heart, and slowly. Camilla began to forget Daniel. She smiled more. She believed this new love could be her future. One day, Camilla was reading the newspaper. She turned the page and saw something that stopped her heart. It was a photo from a photography contest. A man was standing in front of a beautiful house near a river. It was Daniel. Camilla looked closely. She knew that face. It was him, older, stronger, but still Daniel. And then she looked at the house. Her eyes opened wide. It was the same lovely house in her postal card. Tears ran down her cheeks. All the sweet memories came back at once. The summer, the lake, the laughter, and the love. That night, Camilla could not sleep. She lay in bed thinking about Daniel. She wondered, why didn't he write to me? Did he still love me? Why did he build that house? In the morning, she made a decision. She went to Tom and said, "There is something in my heart I must solve. Until I do, I cannot marry you." Then she spoke to her parents. "I need to go back to the seaside town. Just for one day," she said. Her parents were surprised, but they couldn't stop her. Camilla packed a small bag. Her hands were shaking, but her heart was full of hope. She didn't know what she would find, but she had to go. She took a flight and went to the city where Daniel lived. Camilla arrived in the seaside town in the afternoon. Everything looked almost the same. The streets, the boats, the sound of the water. It all brought back old memories. She asked some people in the town, "Do you know a man named Daniel? He lives near the lake." An old man smiled and said, "Yes, Daniel lives in a house he built himself. It's a little far, but if you follow the river, you will find it." Camilla thanked him and walked along the river. Her heart beat faster with every step. Finally, she saw the house. It was even more beautiful than the picture. There were flowers in the garden. The door was open and someone was working in the yard. It was Daniel. He was wearing simple clothes, his hands full of dirt, but his face was still kind and lovely, just like she remembered. Camilla stood at the gate. She didn't know what to say. Daniel looked up and saw her. For a moment, he froze. He couldn't believe his eyes. "Camilla?" he said quietly. She nodded, with tears in her eyes. "Yes, Daniel, it's me." He walked slowly toward her. He wanted to touch her hand, but he wasn't sure if he should do it or not. "I saw your picture in the newspaper," she said. "You built the house? You built my dream house?" Daniel smiled. "I built it for you. I always hoped you'd come one day." Camilla wiped her tears. She whispered, "I never stopped loving you. I thought you forgot me." Camilla looked at Daniel with pain in her eyes. "You promised to write to me," she said, "but you forgot me so quickly." Daniel shook his head. "I wrote you letters every week. I wrote almost 100 letters. Even when you didn't reply, I kept writing. I never stopped trying." Camilla said with surprise, "It's impossible. I didn't receive any letters." After a few moments, she said, "That means someone hid the letters from me. Maybe my mother, or maybe my father. I will ask them for answers," she said. They stood there in silence, the wind soft around them. There was so many words to say, but in that moment, no words were needed. Camilla looked at the house again. It felt like a dream, but it was real. When I got to this part of the story, I saw that Camilla was crying and looking into the distance. She seemed very sad. Then Daniel came back to the house. I said, "Hello, Daniel. You came home early today." Suddenly, Camilla quickly turned her head and looked at Daniel. But then she looked away with sadness. I said again, "How strange. Your name is Camilla, and his name is Daniel too." Camilla gave a sad smile and said, "But he is like a father to me." Daniel looked very hurt and sad. I helped Camilla go back to her room. Then I said, "We will read the rest of the story tomorrow." Every day, I prayed that I could help her memory come back. I wanted to see this beautiful love with my own eyes. The next day, I read more of the story to her. They both felt heartbroken. They cried together. They told each other about all the sadness and pain they had felt for so long. Then Camilla said, "Daniel, I need to tell you something." "I'm so sorry, Daniel. But now I'm engaged to Tom. He's a good man. I can't stay with you. Please forgive me." Daniel's eyes filled with tears. He did not speak at first. His heart felt broken. He looked at Camilla's face. He hoped she still loved him, but Camilla looked away. After a few minutes of silence, Daniel tried to speak, but his voice broke. He turned his face away. His heart was too heavy. He felt like words could not help, so he stayed quiet. Camilla cried. She kept saying, "I'm so sorry. I didn't want it to be like this." Daniel took a deep breath. He said, "I want you to be happy, Camilla, even if you are not with me. But please remember, I loved you with all my heart." Camilla looked at Daniel. Her eyes were full of sadness and longing. She said in a soft voice, "Goodbye, Daniel." Then she turned quickly and ran out of the house. Daniel stayed in his chair. He did not move. He could not speak. It felt like a dream. Camilla went back to their city. At home, Camilla asked her mother, "Did you take Daniel's letters from me?" Her mother looked away, then nodded slowly. "Yes, I didn't want you to see them." Camilla was angry. "Give me the letters," she said. She went to her room and stayed there all day. She read every letter Daniel had written. She cried as she read them, one by one. The letters were full of love, hope, and pain. After reading them all, she made a decision. "This is my life," she said to herself. "No one can choose for me." She liked Tom. He was kind and good, but she didn't love him the way she loved Daniel. And she knew now she couldn't be happy without Daniel. Camilla told her family and Tom her decision. Then she packed her bags. She didn't wait. She took the first flight back to Daniel's town. When she arrived, she was surprised. Daniel was waiting for her outside the house. "How did you know I was coming?" she asked. Daniel smiled. "My heart told me you would come." Then they ran and hugged each other tightly. That was the beginning of their new life, a life full of love, truth, and second chances. After I read the last sentence, I looked at Camilla. She was crying hard. Tears were falling down her cheeks. She was saying softly, "Daniel, Daniel." She stood up. She looked around the yard. It was like she had just woken up from a long dream. Then she saw Daniel. He was standing near the pool. He was looking at her with eyes full of hope and love. He didn't say anything. He was just waiting. Suddenly, Camilla shouted, "You are Daniel! I know, you are Daniel!" Then she ran to him. They hugged each other tightly. They laughed and cried at the same time. Everyone around them was watching in silence. Everyone was happy. Everyone was laughing. I stood there, watching them, my heart full of joy. I was looking at the most beautiful moment in life. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed this story and it helped you, even a little bit with learning English, please like the video, please subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon to see the next videos. I'm looking forward to your lovely comments. I love you all. See you in the next video.